Hello, Jennifer Campbell here, your online change leadership expert. Now, in this video, I would like to introduce to you the Systemic Change Leadership Journey, a framework that you can use to lead change effectively in your organization. Now, if you already downloaded the framework, then congratulations on obtaining your copy. And if not, then I encourage you to do so by clicking the link below after watching this video. Now, what's important to know is that this video will benefit you if you are a leader who wants to lead change effectively with the people in your organization and without wasting time, money, and energy on one-size-fits-all solutions that just don't work. Now, the Systemic Change Leadership Journey is a framework that consists of 3 steps, 3 stages, and I've developed them based on my change management and leadership experience of over 25 years, and also based on my over 10 years of experience in systems thinking-based approaches in organizations. Furthermore, in the past 4 years, I have been speaking to and working with thought leaders in the area of systems thinking, change, leadership, and complexity, while running summits called the Systemic Leadership Summit. So this framework has over hundreds and hundreds of years of experience fueled into it, and it's all at your fingertips for you to use to not only effectively lead change, but also to create a sustainable organization in the process. Now, just to make sure that you are in the right place, I would like to stress that this framework reflects the exact process that not only my clients use, but also many of the world's most successful leaders of change use in their change projects and processes. So in short, this is an approach that works in our current and upcoming context of intense change and complexity. Now, as you may be aware, leading complex change successfully and taking your organization and your people to a level where they thrive in our current world of crisis is really a major problem for many visionary leaders in mid-sized to large corporations worldwide. And when we look at the situation right before the pandemic actually emerged, the amount of change was already massive. According to a recent study by Gartner, the average organization has undergone 5 enterprise-wide changes in the past 3 years, and expecting this to increase to 6 to 7 in the upcoming 3 years. Now, in that same study, results show that over 70% of companies use traditional top-down change management approaches that no longer work, and as a consequence, an equal amount of changes fail. If we add the tremendous impact of COVID-19, I don't need to tell you what happened. Its impact may be very different for you and your organization than for others, really depending on where you find yourself. You may be dealing with the stress of crisis management and restructuring and trying to save your decimated business model. Or on the other end of the extreme, you may be dealing with the stress of systems and processes that are unable to cope with demand. Either way, the current situation throws most leaders into firefighting mode because their organization isn't ready to handle this amount of disruption. Now, that said, whether in times of crisis or not, there are 3 main reasons why leaders struggle with leading change. Reason number 1 is that they don't stop fighting symptoms instead of tackling the root causes. They do not understand that they are trying to solve complex problems with one-size-fits-all solutions, the ones they've always used, but that do not work and cover only one or two pieces of the puzzle instead of taking problems out by the root. So not stopping fighting symptoms is reason number one. Number two, they do not know how to lead change and let go of behavior patterns in the organization that really no longer suit the given context and also the organizational purpose. So this means that they do not address the people side of change effectively, and they don't understand how big of an impact they have as a leader on behavior in their organizations. Yet creating and executing a strategy for their people and themselves as leaders is not high on the agenda. Reason number three why leaders struggle with leading change is that they do not understand how to continuously and sustainably build the change and innovation capabilities of their organization. Now, I've met many leaders who say things like, oh, we've gone through so many changes and we're still here, so we must be doing something right. Or we are already agile, so no need to change anything in our approach. And so merely surviving through change processes is not enough in the long run. Now, currently, many leaders in organizations and organizations as a whole are paying the price because the business is not able to reinvent itself quickly enough. So overall, these are the three main reasons, and they lead to rehashing old patterns and old business models that are ineffective in leading change successfully and creating a sustainable organization. Now, the good news is, if you're struggling with these issues, I'm going to show you a very clear, proven, straightforward, strategic journey that you can use right away to overcome these issues. You will be able to increase your complex change leadership success by 50% or more within only a few months. You will learn how to create a massive impact and take your organization from surviving to thriving without wasting a lot of time, money, and energy on one-size-fits-all that doesn't really work. Now, let me show you phase one in this framework. And this phase is all about getting to the root cause of the problems and stopping one-size-fits-all solutions. This phase is called See the System, and it has to do with approaching your organization that you lead differently. And not just your organization, but you also need to alter your change method and leadership approach. And so what's important for many leaders is the shift from seeing their organization as a machine that they control to seeing their organization as a living human system, something that evolves. And once you do, as soon as you put on the systemic lens, things shift. And they shift in such a way that you actually cannot undo it. And a systemic approach and seeing your organization that way allows you to take a completely different and much more effective approach to the complex adaptive system your organization really is. It also allows you to look differently at your problems and see that they are actually patterns, and also to see leadership not as just an individual task or function, but also a role in the entire organizational system. So this stage is about putting on the systemic lens on your organization, the way you change, and the way leadership is shaped. And once you do that, you will get to the root cause of problems. Now you know that they are patterns, and will help you to stop the one-size-fits-all solutions and start with sustainable solutions. In phase two, we are looking at lifting behavioral patterns in your organization that prevent it from moving forward. It's called Share the Space, this phase, and it's very much about how you can leverage the collective intelligence in your organization and how you can have conversations between the people in and across the organization and other stakeholders that are generative and that deal with conflict that happens in this stage of the journey. Now, when we look at the first part of this phase, it's about change communication, and that has to do with what I call the oxygen flow in your organization, in the living human system, and that is information. So how freely can information flow in your organization? How much oxygen does your organization get, and where does it go? And especially when we're introducing a change, or when a lot of change is at the doorstep of your organization, or when you want to initiate a change, who are allowed to know, and how can this process of facilitating a more free flow of information, what could that actually look like? And then it's about having generative conversations and interaction between diverse groups of stakeholders. And by putting stakeholders together who normally do not interact, you can come up with new ideas and solutions and deal with the current tide and the upcoming new reality. And so it's about knowing how to facilitate and leverage constructive conflict to ultimately decide on the best ideas that emerge from that. And that's exactly what's addressed in this phase. And then the third phase or stage in this framework is called Shape the Shift, which is all about how to build the change and innovation capabilities that are needed in your organization to thrive in a fast-paced, complex world. Now, this is usually where many organizations want to go, like for example, when they say we want to have self-organizing teams, or we want to be more agile, we want to be this, we want to be that, and usually this is where organizations, leaders, and professionals all alike want to go. But unfortunately, this phase is the third phase in the framework. And what's very important is that with See the System and Share the Space, the other two phases, you're building some groundwork in the journey first before you can move into really building strong, sustainable change and innovation capabilities for your organization. Because you need to be able to continuously align with all that's happening within and around your organization. Now, again, these steps in the framework are not a linear approach, but the ones that really work for you, the ones that are very effective, really depend on the stage that you find yourself in with your organization. So these are three phrases: See the System, Share the Space, and Shape the Shift. Now, simple and powerful as this strategy may sound, the most important thing that you need to understand is that your leadership or change approach are only small parts of a full-blown effective change leadership strategy. And so the systemic change leadership journey is a proven framework that we use to help visionary leaders increase their complex change leadership success by 50% or more in terms of effectiveness and ROI in only a few months. And so they can have a massive impact and take their organization from surviving to thriving without wasting a lot of time, money, and energy on hypes, one-size-fits-all change management and leadership methods that just don't work. If you want to get crystal clear on the one thing that you should be doing to increase your complex change leadership success, then book a call with me below. Now, on the call, we will go through the framework and assess where you and your organization find yourself in the journey. We will also discuss how you can implement your journey and effectively lead change in your organization. Now, please note that we offer this call to visionary leaders who lead change in their organizations, who are struggling with getting the root cause of their problems and stopping one-size-fits-all solutions, who experience behavioral patterns in their organizations that prevent them from moving forward, and who want to understand how to build the change and innovation capabilities that are needed to thrive in a complex world. Simply put, we offer this call to leaders who want to successfully lead change. So if that's you, then book a call by clicking the link below. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you.